So let's actually, speaking of that video, let's get right into it. So we're going to start off over with MHA Niagara, and they utilize their CMHP funding to help with the recording of seven shows of their television series, The Many Faces of Mental Health. And this is a project that's gone on for many years. It's a continuing project, and one we're really excited to see still going. And you'll hear from Dan Colpoys, the Executive Director of MHA Niagara, and he's going to share just a little bit more in the video.
Hello everyone, I'm Dan Colpoys, the Executive Director of the Mental Health Association in Niagara County. We appreciate the support provided to our agency by Mahaney's Community Mental Health Promotion Grant. This funding has helped us expand our public mental health education efforts, one of our core services. We forged a collaboration with Lockport Community Television and conduct one television show a month that is aired on their station and also posted on their website on topics related to mental health, or we feature other important agencies in their programs in Niagara County. You'll see some clips in a minute. The CMHP funding also helps offset the cost of updating and printing our Directory of Community Services, or as we call it, our Help Book. Our Community Education Director, Rhiannon O'Shea, will speak about this resource guide further after our television show clips. Now on with the show.
I'd like to introduce Danielle Conlon, who is the Community Education Coordinator at the Mental Health Association. Danielle's going to share with us what resources are currently being offered at the MHA and how things are going under COVID restrictions, and also how to access what you need. Danielle, welcome, and tell us a little bit about what you know.
Is Rachel, who is from the YWCA. She is going to talk to us about sexual assault awareness, a very important topic, and one that I think everybody needs to understand more fully. So Rachel, welcome. Our guest is Christina Conley, who is the Compeer Niagara Adult and Youth Social Inclusion Specialist. Speaking of our agency, I am very happy to introduce to you our new Executive Director, Dan Colpoys, who's with us this morning.
Hi, Jackie.
Hi. I'm glad to have you here to tell us a little bit about your background in mental health issues and help agencies. Today, I have two guests that I'm very pleased to present. Liz Green and Reggie Rosati are coming to us from All Saints Parish Grief Group, Love Never Dies. Today, my guest is Carl Shallowhorn, who is recognized by many people as an authority on mental health issues and training. And he is the Director of Youth Programs at Mental Health Advocates of Western New York. Today I have a guest with me from Niagara Hospice. We're going to talk about what it's like to get through the holidays when you're dealing with grief or other emotional issues, and you might not feel much like the ho, ho, ho that everyone around you is enjoying. This is Kimberly.
Great. And next up, we have our first Workforce and Development Outreach Program from MHA Columbia Green. They've continued to do wonderful work for several years now of their Employment Works program, sharing information and bringing community connections together to better support the workforce community. In just a moment, we'll hear from Lori, the Director of Employment Works at MHA of Columbia Green, and she'll share some information and insight into last year's event that we at Mahaney's were really fortunate to be a part of this year.
Hello everyone, my name is Lori Schmidt and I am the Program Director of the Employment Works program at the Mental Health Association of Columbia Green Counties. I also facilitate the monthly employment network meetings where members meet to share job leads, trainings, conferences, and to hear from guest speakers who present on valuable community resources. We began 2021 with the hope that we might be able to once again host our monthly meetings in person. However, due to the continued COVID-19 restrictions on social distancing, we continued to host our monthly meetings virtually with guest speakers presenting at each meeting. At the annual meeting in December, we recognized an individual along with their employer and coach for a very successful job placement. Additionally, we held a small and brief recognition event following COVID guidelines for 6 individuals, recognizing their dedication and hard work during the continuing pandemic. Virtual networking and sharing of job leads, trainings, conferences, and webinars continued throughout 2021. The guest speakers were scheduled for each of our 2021 meetings. These speakers spoke on an array of topics, which included information on valuable resources in the community that support job seekers, employed individuals, and their employers. Members have reported that this material has been very helpful in the work that they do. Topics last year included tobacco education and outreach support services, addiction recovery peer services, nutrition workshops, youth clubhouse programs and services, benefits information, independent consumer advocacy network, mental health in the workplace, mobile crisis assessment team, career and technical educational programs. For more information on any of these topics and the presenters, you can contact me at lschmidt@mhacg.org, and I'll be glad to share that information with you. Also, if you would like to attend our monthly meetings, please contact me at that same address, and I will add your email to the address list, and you can join us for our meetings. In conclusion, I want to say that it was really helpful to all of our members to be able to continue to meet virtually and stay in contact, support each other, problem solving the different challenges that we face, and to share a lot of information. Hopefully in 2022 we will be back together in person very soon. And today I look very forward to hearing about all your projects in the different affiliates across New York State. Thank you very much.
I think Lori said it better than Graham and I could say it. But if this opportunity is also for you to connect, I know last year some of you did connect to Lori and shared email list. So like she said it, feel free to send her a message. She sends out monthly emails and invites all of our members to actually attend the virtual events. Thanks, Lori.
Thank you, Lori. All right. Next, we actually have in 2021, MHA Nassau used their CMHP funding to support MHA Day, which is a community event in honor of Mental Health Awareness Month. And it took place last May. And like all of us, they've had to contend with COVID restrictions and guidelines, but they still had an incredibly successful event. So Rachel Priest, the behavioral health educator at MHA Nassau, is going to share just a little bit more about that event.
Hello, my name is Rachel Priest, and I am the team leader for the CMHP team at the Mental Health Association of Nassau County. We are incredibly grateful for the continued funding that allows us to create unique programming for both our staff and the community alike, and this year was no exception. While safety for all remained our top concern, this year we were able to take our CMHP project outside and involve many more people than last year. Our project took place on May 21st and was called MHA Day in MHANC, and it was a community event in honor of Mental Health Awareness Month. We also wanted an inviting way to connect with the local Hempstead community and families and remind them of the many services our agency offers and give them tangible resources to take away. Our event included different tables that acted as stations for things related to mental health awareness, such as self-care activities and resources. Included for both the adults and children alike was a coloring station with various activities, including rock coloring, coloring books, fake tattoos and markers and crayons. We also had tables that had games for people to play with each other, as well as buckets of chalk, frisbees, Our entire parking lot was covered in chalk drawings. It was amazing. And in addition to the activity stations, we had community organizations come and set up outreach tables to share their information as well. Our neighboring mental health agencies were happy to attend, and we offered them free outreach tables alongside our own departments and resources. Included were NAMI, Hispanic Counseling Center, our own agency's Project Hope department, as well as tables with information from our peer department and financial management and vet-to-vet department. Anytime we are able to make positive partnerships and we are able to have successful events, it means successful events and partnerships that are positive in the moment and in the future. To add a bit of fun and lightness to the day, we had a free photo booth to take as many photos as you wanted, a DJ to keep everyone moving, and a free catered lunch from a local taco restaurant, all of which received excellent feedback. The DJ piqued interest in the community and really caught the attention of anyone who walked by. Once they stopped, we were able to engage them in conversation, share information, and see if they wanted to stay and learn more about us or the event. We are incredibly proud that despite COVID restrictions, we still reached nearly 200 community members by utilizing our parking lot as the location of the event and a large banner that hung from our posts. MHANC's parking lot is on the main street of Hempstead. Quite literally, Main Street is where we are. And the large and central location made it easy for anybody to get to the event. We even have a bus stop in front of our agency, plus several large shopping areas nearby where you can park and have easy access to our event. It has always been the goal of the Nassau team to bring quality programming to the Hempstead community, and the 2021 project did just that. This team consisted of almost all new members who worked hard to bring exciting, important day together and achieve this goal with hard work and dedication to mental health awareness. We hope to continue and expand our programming this upcoming year and look forward to telling you all about it next time.
Thank you, Rachel. And like Glenn said before, Rachel's been doing CMHP work with CMHP Nassau for many years now. We're so grateful to have her and the support that she gives. And this event was really incredible to hear everything that went on, and the fact that you were able to bring in so many community partners, I think really speaks volumes to the work and the effort and the advocacy that is done with your programming. So thank you, Rachel.
So Lana gave us a little bit of an insight in her intro, but up next is the Mental Health Association of Rockland County that has continued its tireless work of serving its workforce community through flexibility and innovation, especially the past few years. Lana, the Director of Adult Rehabilitation and Treatment Services, is going to share a few of these details, in addition with sharing a great partnership that has recently developed within the past year.
Hi, I'm Lana Ramori. I'm the Director of Adult Treatment and Rehabilitation Services at the Mental Health Association of Rockland County. So over the course of 2021, I would say an area that we've been most adaptable in is really just the flexibility of programming. So with COVID and just how the last pretty much 2.5 years have been, we have gotten pretty creative given all of the new regulations and adjustments that we've needed to make in terms of social distancing, in terms of best practice, in terms of what people need and what people want. So we were really able to come up with different hybrid options for the members we work with, as well as connections in the community, so that people could continue to partner and work together, but also do so in a safe manner. So an example would be we've held meetings that typically were, I'm going to say 50 people or more. And we can no longer do that in a larger space. And we weren't necessarily comfortable doing that in a larger space at that time. So what we did was we offered a smaller in-person option along with a Zoom ability where you could also log in and join that particular forum or that particular conversation that we were having. We did this in terms of creating community connections. We did this in terms of different presentations that we made for the community. We did a few presentations through a local library. So that was really great. Fostered a lot of different relationships and a lot of partnerships. And I would say that I am most proud of just the way that both members and also staff have been able to navigate some of the challenges of 2021. There have been so many ups and downs in 2021, so many different changes with telehealth options, with offerings, with what was going on in the community, with events that were supposed to happen and then were later canceled. And everyone has just been so understanding and so kind and respectful of one another, and still really working together to create these relationships and partner. It's been amazing. Our members are just so resilient in what they do and the work that they're doing and what they're bringing. And it's been really, really amazing. One really cool partnership that we created was actually with a local high school in Rockland County. And we have a few of the students who are actually shadowing different programs within my agency as a learning experience. So they are partnering with the program and the agency as a whole in hopes of potentially working in the mental health field someday. And they are learning and bringing it back to the high schools and their friends of just what they're doing, what they're observing. They're volunteering, they're working with members. The members are also loving the fact that they're there and also collaborating with one another. So it's been great.
Thank you so much, Lana, and the entire team for your tireless efforts. And I love that, connection that was made with the high school. I think a lot of us could probably learn from that. So thanks so much.
Absolutely. All right, so MHA Jefferson continued to use their CMHP funding this past year for their Agape project, which supports individuals who need assistance navigating the family court system, as well as connecting them to additional community supports. Madison Ferguson, the Agape specialist at MHA Jefferson, at MHA Jefferson, is going to discuss their programming.
Hello. My name is Madison Ferguson, and I am the Agape Specialist at the Mental Health Association of Jefferson County. The Agape Project is intended to provide family support, help reduce stress while navigating the complex family court system, and connect individuals and families to additional resources to promote stability. More often than not, court is overwhelming and the paperwork that follows is confusing. As the Agape Specialist, I assist with filling out the required paperwork to help eliminate that confusion. This may include New York State custody and visitation petitions, modification petitions, as well as child support and paternity petitions. I'm also able to be present during my clients' court hearings so they don't have to go through them alone. By being familiar with the processes of the family court system, I am able to provide support while also advocating for our clients' needs, wants, and concerns. While isolation has risen throughout the COVID-19 pandemic, the Agape Project has continued to adapt to better support our targeted audience. We have maintained following the CDC guidelines and encouraging our clients to continue services by offering telephonic meetings. Clients are now able to participate in family court sessions as well. The COVID-19 pandemic and the social distancing protocols that followed have also shown us that offering the choice of in-person and/or telephonic meetings gives our clients the choice of service delivery, emphasizing our person-centered values. Offering choice of service delivery allows us to offer the assistance of the Agape Project to a wider audience, including those who are more comfortable with receiving services at home. It's not always easy for a client to attend an in-person meeting, especially those with families and service provider anxiety. Though we do have a separate meeting space that allows a client's whole family to attend a meeting, some clients desire that one-on-one session. Offering telephonic meetings gives current and prospective clients the ability to access our services more comfortably and more conveniently.
And Madison's right that I don't know if anybody listened to that like all the way through. That's incredible with the work that goes on with the Agape program. I can't stress enough how fundamental it is to have somebody go through that entire process for people who need those supports and services, from the part at the beginning of filling out paperwork all the way to court appearances is really wonderful. And they've continued to shift their programming as needed throughout the pandemic last year and this year, virtually and in person. And just seeing the reports come in about the work that they're doing is really inspiring. So thank you, Madison.
Next up, we have the MHA of Southern Tier. And this team really did a fantastic job bringing on new team members and being able to maintain, but also reinvent their workforce engagement this year. The team was able to serve their community through valuable programming. Noah, the Director of Peer Support Services, will share some great insight into discoveries throughout this year's program that allowed their team to see an immediate impact of their work and programming.
Like many other community agencies, ours too felt the impacts of the COVID-19 pandemic. We understood how important it was for our peers to stay active in their community by either volunteering or through employment. Due to the COVID-19 pandemic and restrictions on large group gatherings, rather than organizing a large event, which we had done traditionally with the local BOCES program, we determined the best way to prepare our peers for volunteer and employment opportunities was to focus on skill building. Following public health guidelines, we hosted smaller programs with masked, screened, and socially distanced participants. This also allowed for more personal and engaging conversations and hands-on activities. Blended with our person-centered and strengths-based approach, we felt this approach would work well for the project and its objectives. Programming was geared towards peers in the community interested in volunteering or employment. Workshops were offered and facilitated by New York State Certified Peer Recovery Specialists at the Sunrise Wellness Center. A total of 7 workshops were offered, focusing on areas such as identifying employment resources, cover letter writing, identifying your strengths, scheduling for success, email 101, and smartphone work groups, all of which were chosen based on conversations peers had with our peer recovery specialists. Staff took the barriers that were identified and carefully crafted programs that were engaging and educational. Programs also provided hands-on activities in a safe and supportive environment where peers could practice and felt comfortable learning from their mistakes in order to build important skills and their self-confidence. While assisting peers throughout the year, we found the progress we were making with helping folks overcome their fear of technology was the most rewarding. We found many reasons why peers were avoiding technology, ranging from a lack of technical knowledge to socioeconomical barriers. Staff assisted peers with obtaining smartphones and services, which were critical if peers were interested in entering the workforce due to employers conducting phone and Zoom interviews. Also, peers would have the ability to access employment opportunities and express interest using their smart device. Peers expressed feeling isolated, anxious, and stressed due to their lack of technical knowledge prior to attending our workshops. Peers experienced difficulties with even some of the most basic phone operations, like turning the phone on and off, adjusting the volume, and answering calls. Workshops like our Email 101 gave peers the instructional and hands-on experience necessary to begin feeling more confident when using technology. As a result, peers were more comfortable learning the new technology and were excited to share what they had learned after attending workshops and taking it upon themselves to explore the technology on their own. This newfound confidence led to peers being more open to considering telehealth appointments with providers, considering online interviews, and using modern communication methods such as texting, email, and other mobile applications.
Really interesting. And, working with this team, it was thinking outside of the box and looking at things that maybe they didn't have resources for, but how could they utilize the community resources to really meet their members' needs? And knowing the team really went above and beyond and thought very creatively, as you can see with the cell phone education. They weren't experts, but they knew and they went and they found experts to provide all of these educational opportunities that really empowered their individuals to feel comfortable and take that next step into the workforce.
Next up, we're going to have CMHP in Fulton Montgomery. And for the past several years, MHA Fulton Montgomery has chosen new and innovative projects to promote mental health awareness and advocacy in their community. This year, they engaged directly with students and teachers in their counties. And Nancy Damaga, the community educator at MHA Fulton Montgomery, is going to highlight this year's project for all of you.
Hi, my name is Nancy Damaga, and I'm the community educator for the Mental Health Association in Fulton and Montgomery counties. I'd like to talk with you about our CMHP project for 2021. Before I get started, I would just like to mention our team members' names. We have Alyssa Craig from Creative Connections Clubhouse in Amsterdam, New York, John Sumter from Creative Connections Clubhouse, Joan Drouse from the Mental Health Association, Greg Hitchcock, who's a community member, and myself, Nancy Damaga. So for our 2021 project, we wanted to reach the youth in our communities. We decided to purchase the film The First Day, which features former NBA player Chris Herron. Chris Herron is a recovering addict and alcoholic who has also suffered from several mental health challenges. In The First Day, Chris Herron chronicles his journey, revealing his vulnerabilities and profound connections with high school students. Students in turn who revealed their own journeys, their own strengths, and their own challenges. Chris Herron talks about the first day versus the last day, and talks about the choices that we make in picking up substances leading to addiction and substance use disorder. One accomplishment from 2021 CMHP project that we're very proud of is that we were able to coordinate with 3 districts within the 2 counties that we serve, and we were able to show this film to 572 students within those districts. So we were very pleased with the number of youths that we were able to serve. An example of how our program was adaptable this year was that we really had to work and coordinate with the districts to meet their scheduling needs. Because of COVID, we weren't necessarily able to go into the districts, into the schools to show the film. So we had to coordinate through online platforms such as Google Meets or Zoom and show these films. And some schools wanted to do it with large numbers of students at one time. Others chose to do smaller groups, like during a health class. So we had to coordinate with the schools, with teachers, and with guidance staff to work around their schedules so that we could get this information out, get this film out to as many students as possible. So we really were very adaptable. We really did work very closely with the school administration to really foster our program to meet their needs. Our program supported our target audience in several ways. We recognize that this film is very intense. It carries a very meaningful message, however, it's a very impactful message. So we wanted to make sure that our audience was well supported. In that, we ensured that guidance staff and counselors were available throughout the viewing of the film as well as after the film, so that students could speak with them if they needed to. We also gave guidance staff and counselors the syllabi that accompanies this film so that they had frequently asked questions, they had background information, they had all of the resources that they needed that accompanied the film so that they could provide the students with the support that they needed. A partnership or collaboration that we were able to establish during our 2021 CMHP project was with one of the rural school districts that we serve through our agency. A lot of the work that we do is with our more populated areas, and one of our ongoing goals is to reach our more rural communities. And this year's CMHP project, we were able to do that. We coordinated and formed working relationships with one of our smaller districts and showed the film to the students there and created a new partnership and are now actually continuing to do work with that district. So it was very successful in that aspect. And I would like to share with you some feedback from some of the students who viewed the film. Following viewing the film, we had each student fill out a survey asking some very general questions and asking for some feedback. And I was very pleased with the feedback that we did get. One statement is that it was an interesting film. It helped me realize that I have some issues as well as my friends. So that student was from Amsterdam, New York. This film was really moving. It made me think about things I never really put much thought towards, and it opened my eyes a lot. That's from a student from Gloversville, New York. We should have these presentations more often, from Amsterdam, New York. I like this film because it talked about substance use, self-harm, which a lot of teens and people in general deal with but don't like to talk about. Watching this film can really just help you realize that you're not alone. A student from Gloversville, New York. I really liked the video and I thought it was quite interesting. I figured it would be another one of those boring lectures, but I enjoyed this a lot more than I thought, and it was worth watching. From a student in Amsterdam, New York. So from those statements, you can see that there was definitely interest and we did receive a lot of positive feedback. So overall, we consider our 2021 CMHP project a success. We are very grateful to have had the opportunity to share this film and Chris Herron's message with the students in our communities. And we are definitely looking forward to doing more work this coming year through our CMHP program. Thank you.
Thank you, Nancy, and thank you for closing with the feedback you got from the students. It's really powerful and really amazing to hear what they were able to connect with and get out of this programming. I know when I was in high school and there would be like a movie day, I was like excited that I didn't have to do my regular class. And the fact that you were able to kind of sneak in something with a really powerful message that was able to enrich their lives is so wonderful. So thank you. And as you always switch to new projects every year, I'm really looking forward to seeing what Philip Montgomery is going to do in 2022.
Great. And next up, again, we have Niagara County, but this is with their workforce and development outreach programming. And they continue to work on programming to train and educate the workforce community around mental health by sharing resources and connections, but also training to support both the workforce and its community at large. We'll hear from Rhiannon, the community educator and referral coordinator, a little bit more about their help book and distribution that they've done with that.
Hi, my name is Rhiannon O'Shea, and I am the current Community Education and Referral Coordinator for the Mental Health Association in Niagara County. I am here to talk to you today about our directory of community services that we call the Help Book. It's a very convenient pocket-sized help book, and this has resources from all over the county for basically anything you might need. I'll go through the table of contents just so you get a gist of what this actually has to offer. Emergency phone numbers, addiction, children and youth services, community service agencies, counseling, crisis hotlines and emergency services, education and training, employment, family, financial, food and clothing, LGBTQ+, government, health insurance, health services, housing, law enforcement, legal issues, mental health, USPS offices, public libraries, senior citizens, special interests, transportation, utilities, veterans, and of course it has some information about my agency too. So if you're interested, feel free to call the Mental Health Association at 716-433-3780 because we have tons of these on deck if you need anything.
This project speaks true to the fact that we know the biggest barrier for some individuals is just knowing where to go or how to find the resources, especially in the workforce. How do you, support someone that might be on your team? And this help book, I think, really provides that opportunity for resources to be readily available because you never know when you might need that resource.
Absolutely. So with CMHP Southern Tier, this past year, MHA Southern Tier held a peer perspective art exhibit where participants could experience art about mental health topics. And we're again here from Noah Cooper, Director of Peer Support Services at MHA Southern Tier, who's going to discuss this event.
We are very proud of our community and how our local artists, businesses, and human services agencies pulled together and participated in our peer perspective art exhibit. The event consisted solely of art created by peers who have lived experience managing symptoms of their mental illness and who use art as a tool for communication and expression. The purpose of the event was to raise awareness for those living with mental illness in our community and to visually portray what it is like to live with mental illness, giving guests a glimpse into the lives of fellow community members and the mental health symptoms they face. A total of 15 amateur and professional artists participated in the event. The exhibit consisted of art of all sizes, colors, textures, and media. 12 local businesses sponsored the event, donating wellness products for 2 wellness baskets and swag bags. Guests who attended the event were given a raffle ticket for a chance to win one of the wellness baskets, and all attendees were given a drawstring bag packed full of wellness resources, discounts to local businesses, and promotional items. The Peer Perspective Art Exhibit was held on Tuesday, November 16th and ran until Friday, November 19th, 2021, and was held at SUNY Broom's Community College Library Gallery. 5 local nonprofits tabled during the 4-day event in order to inform community members of important mental health and wellness related services available in their community. The event was well received by all who participated and attended the event. After the event, community members expressed interest in purchasing some of the artwork created by peers. 6 of the pieces were sold in total. Due to the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic, our project faced several logistical challenges combined with public safety concerns associated with having an in-person public event during the pandemic. We were challenged with finding a centrally located venue which was easily accessible by public transportation and would accommodate individuals with physical disabilities. Local galleries were not comfortable offering space for the event, either due to COVID-19 or for the fact that many galleries had exhibits booked months in advance for paying members. As the planning continued, finding a venue proved to be more difficult than anticipated due to rising COVID-19 concerns. The size and scope of the project had to remain flexible to accommodate the shrinking project timeframe, venue, and public health concerns. Discussions with SUNY Broom Community College regarding utilizing their library gallery were ongoing. However, guidance for public events and masking mandates were being evaluated on an ongoing basis by the college. When SUNY Broom agreed to host the event in their library gallery, staff had 2 weeks to plan and execute the event. This included seeking interested artists, reaching out to local businesses and service providers, conducting outreach, and the acquisition, transportation, and display of art, and marketing the event. Overall, we consider the event a successful one, and we are pleased to have had the opportunity to share the Peer Perspective Art exhibit with peers and our community.
Graham, you're muted.
Thank you, Joelle. Yeah, it's probably not the last time that's going to happen to me today. But what I was going to say is what Noah highlighted about having to overcome the logistical issues of the pandemic, I think resonates with all of us and so much of the programming that was done. But the fact that all of you were able to still conduct that programming, just like Noah was able to with theirs in Southern Tier, is really speaks volumes to the effort and the wherewithal that you all took this past year and the successes that you had, and that should be applauded. Now, I want to open this up to some of our other CMHP WDOP teams. I know that we have had, due to a lot of issues, speaking of the pandemic, staffing changes and just so many, the fact that we're opening back up in a lot of ways has put a lot of demand on our affiliates and MHAs and the work that they've done. So we know that we do have a couple more that are here today that didn't have an opportunity to have a video rolled into what we presented. So if they would like, they more than are able to come in and talk a little bit about their programming if they would like. And if not, that is okay too. But we are available. We have the opportunity for you to do so if you would like. So anybody would like to do that, you're more than welcome to unmute yourself and share your video and come up and talk to all of your colleagues about what you've accomplished in the past year.